Good morning, Mr. President. Iran wants a quick relief to the UN sanctions that are imposed against them in order to seal a nuclear deal. I think any deal with Russia and Iran is no deal at all. I don't think any of the sanctions should be cut back or released in an expedient way. I think that you need to get some input from Israel on these negotiations as well. Russia is flexing their muscle, their nuclear muscle, and threatening the NATO nations. Obviously, they have more nuclear weapons than the NATO nations do. You've pushed us back up against the wall with the sanctions that you put on them, and maybe more sanctions to come. The ruble is taking a nosedive, and he is starting to buy gold and hoard it in hopes or in effect that it won't, it'll help him get past an economic crisis. You have to pardon my speech. Britain is threatened to pull out of the EU if they don't have more immigration reform. I guess they're tired of importing all these Muslims that are creating problems for them and draining their social welfare system. I would say the same that goes for the immigration reform here. First of all, we haven't enforced the laws we have. Second of all, they are nobody to make demands of us. Third of all, if you give them amnesty, there should be some kind of a fiscal penalty plus stringent requirements on what they have to do in order to follow a path to citizenship. Goes without saying that you have to secure the border first, and I'm sure you know that, but you're unwilling to do it. Palestinian teenagers are creating problems for the Israeli soldiers over in the Gaza Strip. Abbas is not doing anything to stop this and not telling Hamas to stop this either. This is the same thing that's going on in Ferguson. You and the Attorney General Holder are doing nothing to quell that situation there and doing nothing to take the militant, violent people out of the picture there and remove them from creating any problems. There's no need for a lot of outsiders to be in Ferguson. Those people don't want their property destroyed by a bunch of outsiders inciting riots. And the Black Panthers who continue to threaten with violence should be stopped in their tracks and told to stay out of Ferguson. I hope you're happy with what you and Holder helped create. You've set racism back 50 years, back to when that young lady went to the schools in Alabama on her own. You made great strides, and then all of a sudden you created this diversity again and created this problem. I hope all the decisions that you make are much better than you've been doing. Maybe you should stay in Washington and get things done here instead of worrying about climate change that nobody wants to deal with and these agreements that you put together that mean nothing. God bless America, you and your family.